Ken Unger. I'm here with my new buddy, Sean McCarthy. We met through a mutual friend who's a tennis pro. Sean's married to a tennis pro, almost professional athlete when he was playing football. And my friend and Sean's wife and Sean all needed healing. I'm going to say this wrong, so you correct me. In the process, they all found ways to heal. I know that our mutual friend got healed through a Catherine Kuhlman meeting.
Yes, she did.
But Sean got healed in such a way that he realized that he had a gift and a calling to do this, and has been all over the world meeting with athletes and other people. He was recently a keynoter at an event in Vienna that was put on by the former president of the nation of Austria on healing trauma. And he said, Ken, I'm going to tell them, I'm going to hold up your book, and I'm going to tell them, you all need this book. And Sean wants me to get this book to 500,000 athletes around the world, because he tells me they all need healing. And he's going to be writing a book soon, finishing a book soon on the kind of healing he does. So, my friend Sean McCarthy, tell him what you do, my brother.
Well, you know, sometimes when you're called, it doesn't really work. I have a marketing degree from the University of Cincinnati, so I don't know. You know, my journey really started because I injured my back when I was 19 playing football at the University of Cincinnati, and they told me I had the back of a 73-year-old man. I wasn't happy about that. Said surgery wouldn't work. So I started learning about what made the body work. You know, my wife, who was top 10 in the world, Brenda, injured her back, so we were the bad back
Top
family.
10 in tennis.
Top 10 in tennis in the world, and former world record holder. And nothing worked, including surgery and everything alternative. So I started trying to understand what made things tick, and I realized that stress caused everything. So when I found out what stress really was, I learned that it was people lacking God, that the ultimate version of stress.
Jesus is the Prince of Peace.
Right. You know,
no God, no peace. No God,
yeah, so
find peace.
There's a lot of amazing healing modalities out there, but the greatest one is God, because he's the creator, and he's Jesus is the ultimate healer. So, you know, my journey really started to help my wife, and it ended up helping me because I had some wounds from my past that made me understand things. But I think the most important thing is that when you really understand stress, like I said, which is the root cause of everything, according to Stanford and Harvard and everyone, but they don't talk about that God and the disconnection from God is the ultimate stress. So really, when you find that, all the other layers of stress, they all make sense.
Yeah.
But the only way to truly find what stress is to be told by God what the real stressors are.
Yes.
So that's really what's given me the ability. You know, I've been blessed through the foundation that we started to train people in the health field from 30 countries. And there have been a lot of miracles. You know, one day I was walking by my barn, and I thought I had met the best people in the business, and I just put my hands up and said, hey, God, you're going to be my teacher. And since that time, you know, the miracles have been flowing.
And let me tell a little story he told me that really blesses me and blows my mind. So an imam, a Muslim imam, came to Sean with a disease nobody could seem to help him.
Actually, it was a Shaolin monk.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it was the highest level of Shaolin monk, who was also a PhD medical doctor.
He was a PhD medical doctor. He came to you for healing, right?
Yep.
And Sean said to his 10-year-old son, take him into the garage and heal him. And what happened next?
Well, it's a little variance from that, but I had healed this gentleman, and he was supposed to die. Most of his small intestine was cut out. He's the only person that's ever survived this diagnosis in the history of modern medicine. So 6 days after I was asked to heal him, he was out of the hospital. They couldn't even tell that he had a port that he'd had in for 6 weeks. It was completely healed, no scar, no nothing. And so what happened was, at a later date, the guy stopped listening to me. So I had my 2 students that were training under me, Tom, the one that's here with me, his wife, Francesca, and my son. And I said, the priest just read him his last rites. You know, I don't know how many times I'm going to tell this guy that just God does this. When is he going to stop listening to the wrong people? So I said, you guys heal him. Well, I got a phone call 2 days later, 2 hours later, that he was released from the hospital. So it's a variation of the story, but my son was involved in it. You know, and at the time, he was probably 7.
Is that wild? And a little child still leads them.
Yeah.
It's easier for little kids to believe than for adults.